Very good morning to all my dear students and welcome to Industrial Pharmacy 2. Dear student, today we will going to begin with the new topic from your Industrial Pharmacy 2 as far as the PCI syllabus is concerned. So the topic name is the regulatory affairs. Now as far as this regulatory affair is concerned, this is something, say, a new kind of discipline that is going to becoming very popular in case of industry as well as in case of pharma field. Since last few decades, every company they are looking for the regulatory professionals who will communicate with the regulatory agencies. Now, what the regulatory agencies are? Regulatory agencies, these are nothing but the bridge. These are nothing but the liaison. These are nothing but the link between the pharma companies and the government offices. So the people who are having the knowledge of all the affairs related with the regulatory processes. Now, what this regulatory process means again? Let's say, for example, if a company has to manufacture a particular kind of dosage form or a particular kind of product. Now, in order to manufacture that, in order to sell that into the company, into the country, the company will require the approvals by the governments. And these approvals can be obtained through the application that will comes under or that will be the part of the regulatory processes. So again, the application process, approval process, all these are regulated one. All these are governed by the norms. All these are governed by the standards. All these are governed by the guidelines. All these are governed by the different instructions. And in order to get approval, in order to comply with that of the all regulatory requirements, there is need to have the people, there is need to have the personnel who are thorough, who are dealing, who are having the knowledge of all these kinds of processes. And pharmaceutical companies, they hire these professionals who are in the process of application, who are in the process of detailed knowledge of all the regulatory requirements. Now, this is for what? Let's say, for example, if the company, they will be having the well experienced, qualified and knowledgeable people from the regulatory agency, their application that became accurate, their time that will get reduced. And because of all these, the chances of getting approvals that becomes increased. If they don't have the knowledge of all these processes, and if they are trying, if they are going for trial and error basis, and because of which, because of lack of proper process, because of lack of proper understanding of the regulatory requirement, if there is a delay, that delay will be, that delay will be in terms of monetary and financial loss to the companies in crores of rupees. Now let's take an example. If there is a product which is not complying to that of the ideal labeling standards, right? Company had manufactured the product, company had distributed the product into the market, but later after distribution into the market, if the regulatory agency they comes to know that the company they had not followed the proper labeling norms to that of the product, whatever might be stable your product, whatever might be efficient your product, whatever might be effective your product, the everything that will goes into well, and ultimately the agency they will stops the company to sell the market, to sell the product into the market. At the same time, they may ask a company to recall all the product which is already distributed into the market. And again, this process that is too much tedious, that is too much costlier one for the pharmaceutical company. So this is just in a nutshell the overall what the regulatory is, right? Now we will go through our slides in detail as far as the process of regulatory affairs are concerned. The content that will move like say introduction related with the regulatory affairs, the regulatory affair and regulation, what it is. We have to see some of the historical overview, history associated with the development in the field of the regulatory affairs. Now, why is regulatory affairs are important? What are the major regulatory authorities that will regulate the overall processes of the drugs, right from say manufacturing, right from say selling? If we want to sell a particular product into the US market, we need the approval by the US regulatory agency. If we want to sell a product into the market, South Korea, we need the approval from the South Korea. If we want to sell our product into the Canada, we need to have the approval of Canadian agencies. So every country they are having their own regulatory agencies, and there is need to get approval prior to sale of any product into their particular market. Now, the new molecule that can cost several million of rupees or dollars to progress, and any blunder cause great impact onto the company's status, isn't it? This is already I told you that. Let us say, for example, if there is no compliance with that of the labeling requirement, the product has to be withdrawn. That will ultimately leads to everything at a stake as far as the company's status is concerned, company's rapport is concerned. So that's why to comply with all these requirements, it is the most critical and crucial stage. As medicines, they will play a vital role in humans' lives. There must be regulations for medicines ensuring quality, safety, and efficacy of the product. For drugs, the quality, for drugs, the safety, for drugs, the efficiency, that is most important one. Because all these are related with that of the human life. And in order to get quality, safety, and efficacy, there is a regulatory agencies which will work for that. The regulatory affair professionals is the only one who is completely responsible for holding products in compliance and maintaining all the records. Yes, these are the people who are having the knowledge of the regulatory processes, and these are ultimately responsible in order to comply and maintain all the records, all the standards of the product as far as the requirement of regulatory agencies are concerned. One of the vital activities of the regulatory specialist is to ensure that all the information regarding medicines has been correctly established to the patient covering labelings also. It is not only have the requirement that the product should be safe, efficient, stable, effective, but the product should meet the labeling requirement also. It is the vital activity whenever the product that will goes into the market. through the getting approval by the regulatory agencies. Even a small mistake in any of the activities related to the regulatory can make the product to be recalled in addition to loss of several millions of the money. So 100% strict adherence to that of the regulatory requirement, that is most important one. Even a small mistake that will lead to that of the withdrawal of the approval, even a small mistake that will lead to the recall of the product, even a small mistake that will lead to the complete stopping the production capacities. The drug development to commercialization is highly regulated. Every drug before getting market approval must undergo rigorous scrutiny and clinical trials in order to ensure its safety, efficacy, and quality. That is what is the ultimate aim. That is what is the ultimate function of these agencies. These standards are set by the regulatory authorities. So for every country, there is their own regulatory agencies. So let us say, for example, US. For US, it is the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, United States Food and Drug Administration. For our country, like say India, we will be having the CDSCO, Central Drug Standard Control Authority of India. DCA, that is the DCA, Drug Control Authority of India, that is the CDSCO. Now, regulation affects all aspects of the pharmaceutical world, from independent innovators, pharmaceutical companies, regulatories, administrative bodies, and ultimately the patients. So, the regulation that will affect all these stakeholders, right from innovator, pharmaceutical companies, regulatory agencies, administrative bodies, and the patients. Patients ultimately for whom the product is going to be prepared. Pharmaceutical manufacturers, these are the producers. Innovator, these are the stakeholders. These are the licensing agencies. These are the innovators for the product. Regulatory agency, these are the agencies which will be large and which will be the bridging gap between the government agencies and the pharmaceutical companies with the knowledge of the regulatory processes. Regulatory department is a crucial link between the company product and the regulatory authorities, whose positive or negative standpoint foster the insight of the regulatory authority into the industry for good or for bad. How the regulatory department they will work, how the regulatory agency they will work. Ultimately, these are responsible for uplifting the positive image of the company, for good image of the company, and their lack of knowledge that will lead to the negative impact or the bad impact of the company, of the industry. So the better scientific precision, the greater will be the chance of the product to come to the market within the expected time. So the personnels with the better scientific knowledge in case of regulatory, that will uplift the ultimate image of a pharmaceutical company. What is the regulation and what are the regulatory affairs? Regulation is what it is, particularly the evaluation process. It is the evaluation process. It is applicable to that of the registration process. It is applicable to that of the authorization. It is applicable for that of the getting approval. It is applicable to that of the import of a drug. It is applicable to that of the export of the drug. It is applicable to that of the distribution and for overall surveillance and the regulation and the vigilance. So what the regulation is, it involves the extensive evaluation of a particular drug product to ensure protection of public health, promotion of the product, drug registration, market authorization, import, export, distribution, and pharmacovigilance. Whereas what the regulatory affair is, regulatory affair, it is comparatively a new profession. What it is a profession. And the people who are working in this area, these are the regulatory professionals. Regulatory affairs is a comparatively new profession which has developed from the desire of government to protect public health. How it had been developed? It had been developed from the desire of the government to protect the public health. How it will protect the public health? By controlling the safety and efficacy of the product. How, in what areas? Pharmaceuticals, veterinary medicines, medical devices, pesticides, agrochemicals, cosmetics, and complementary products. Ultimately, all these are the products, like say pharmaceutical, veterinary, medical devices, pesticides, all these are going to be used by the human beings, by the public, isn't it? So ultimately, in order to safeguard the life of the public health, to protect the public health, that is the ultimate aim behind developing this agency, behind developing this area. Regulatory affair is a unique mixture of science and management. What the regulatory affair is? It is a mixture. Mixture of what? Mixture of science and management to achieve a commercially important goal. What is ultimate aim? To achieve the commercially important goal. That means what? That means after getting approval, after releasing the product, there should not be a turn back. There should not be a reverse with the drug development organization. Regulatory affair takes care of development plan, supervising, writing, reviewing and assembling and submission and management. They give strategic and technical advice. Regulatory affair department, they give advices at the highest level in their companies, right from beginning of the development of a product, making an important contribution both commercially and scientifically. Commercial success, ultimately, that is the goal, but that is from the point of view of scientific point of view to the success of a development program and the company as a whole. So whatever the regulatory personnel these are representing, that is ultimately getting presented by the company. So what will causes the growth and development of the regulatory affair department? Now there are various incidences which was occurred into the past. Now the major incidences that will made us to understand that the rules and regulations of the agencies of the regulatory affair are required to prove the safety along with efficacy of drug. Now you can see there is a list of all these incidences which will compel to bring that particular act into the regulatory areas. Now, the first that was into the year 1902, that is the Biologics Control Act, which was came because of the diphtheria epidemic. So the diphtheria epidemic that will enforce to bring the Biologics Control Act. The publication of the journal by Upton Sinclair that will lead to the Pure Food and Drugs Act to come into force in 1906. The preparation of elixir of sulfanilamide elixir that will lead to the bringing the Food and Drug Cosmetic Act in the year 1938. The thalidomide disaster that will lead to the development of amendments in 1962, which is said to be the Kefauver-Harris amendment. Dalcon Shield that will lead to the 1972 Medical Device Amendments Act, and Bijot-Shelley heart valves lead to the 1990 Safe Medical Devices Act. So this is the historical overview that how the regulatory affair department had developed, how it had been grown. If we want to go through the details, you can go through the details of all these, and you will going to come to know that what is the history, what was the reason in order to bring these particular acts into the regulation. Now let's take the example of the elixir of sulfanilamide. So particularly the sulfanilamide that was belonging to that of the sulfonamide, and it came into the market as a elixir suspension in which they had used the DEG, diethylene glycol. particularly the diethylene glycol that is toxic to the human beings. And the consumption and the use of such a kind of elixir that was lead to the death of several number of people, say almost 100 people that was died. It was introduced in August, and ultimately the results that was found in case of September 1938. So later it was observed that it found that it is because of the sulfanilamide elixir which will contain the DEG. So which had enforced to bring this particular act 1938. There is a quite interesting story I already explained before this in our several lectures related with that of the thalidomide, isn't it? The thalidomide, it was causing the abnormalities into the limbs, particularly the drug that was used in case of the motion sickness, in case of the uh, pregnant women's. So the drug that will possessing the capability to cross the blood-brain, to cross the placental barrier and to appear into the fetus blood because of its high lipoidal nature, and there that will causes the deformities, which is said to be the phocomelia. Some tricky doctors, they had used this drug as it is giving the relief from that of the morning sickness in case of the pregnant women's. So later it was introduced in 58, and some 1960 the incidences that came, the hash selling drug was there, the blockbuster drug was there at that time, the top selling drug was there, but because of its side effects that had enforced to bring the amendment, and there was total ban onto the thalidomide. So again, the reason is that in order to ensure the safety, in order to ensure the efficacy, and in order to ensure the stability of the product as well as the quality of the product. So that is ultimate aim behind the regulatory agencies. So that leads to bring the 1962 Kefauver-Harris Amendment. So all these are the incidences that will lead the development of the regulatory areas. Now, why is regulatory important? Now, in today's competitive environment, is the reduction of the time, isn't it? So the personnel who will be having the knowledge, they will having the accurate processes, they will be knowing the how to, where to, how to apply, to whom to apply, what are the processes. So that will significantly reduce the time of the application process and delay into the process of getting approval. And I told that if there is a delay into the approval, so that means not simply in terms of time delay, but it is in terms of the monetary loss to that of the companies. Reduction of the time taken to reach the market is vital to a product's and hence the company's success. The proper conduct of its regulatory affairs activities is therefore of considerable significance, economic significance for the company. Inadequate reporting of the data may prevent a timely positive evaluation of a marketing application. A new drug may have cost many millions of pounds, euros, and dollars to develop. Even a 3-month delay in bringing it into the market has considerable financial considerations to that of the company. Even worse, a failure to fully report all the available data or the release of the product bearing incorrect labeling may easily result in the need for a product recall. A good regulatory affair professionals will have a right first time. That means they know when to apply and how to get the approval. Right first time approach, and will play a very important part in coordinating scientific endeavor with regulatory demands throughout the life of the product, helping the to maximize the cost effective use of the company's resources. The regulatory affairs department is very often the first point of contact. Any government agency, they will ultimately, first of all, they will meet to that of the regulatory department, the regulatory personnel. So that's why regulatory affair department is very often the first point of contact between the government authorities and the company. So if the company has the officials, these are well versed, these are qualified, these are experienced, they will respond in a much better way to the company whose representative these are scientifically accurate and knowledgeable than to one in which these qualities are absent. So government agencies also they will respond in a better manner to the companies whose personnel these are well versed in the knowledge of the regulatory areas. Now, these are some of the regulatory authorities which will look after the all affairs related with that of the drug, that is the production, that is the manufacturing, that is the approval, that is the sale, that is the distribution, that is the import and the export of the drugs. For India, it is the CDSCO, Central Drug Standard Control Organization. The DCGI, the Drug Controller General of India, is the chief for the CDSCO. In case of US, the agency is the Food and Drug Administration. It is the US FDA. For United Kingdom, it is the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agencies, which is known as MHRA. For Australia, the regulatory authorities are the TGA, Therapeutic Goods Administration. For Japan, it is the MHLW, that is the Japanese Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. For Canada, the agency is the Health Canada. For Brazil, it is the ANVISA or ANVISA, that is the agency. Nacional Degradation Vigilancia Sanitaria. So it is the in their mother tongue, in their country language. South Africa, it is the Medicines Control Council, MCC. For Europe, it is the European Directorate for Quality of Medicines, that is the EDQM. So all these are the regulatory agencies which will work for these countries, for their companies, as per as the regulation of drugs related with their companies are concerned. So this is the reference.